Top 10 photos you won't believe aren't photoshopped. Hello there again, YouTube. Photo trickery has been a problem in this world since the first celluloids were made available and people such as Stalin started airbrushing people he took out of the picture, literally out of, the picture. But for every bizarre and fake photo that exists, there are those out there that are as real as you and me. Get ready, because you're about to see some pictures that you'll swear are fake and will leave angry comments telling me so, but trust me, I know a thing or two about reverse Google image searching, and I can guarantee that what you're about to see isn't fake in any way. I mean, save for my voice, which I'm only talking like this to disguise my deep insecurities and come across like a muscle god with a microphone. This is Top 5 Best, and on today's list, I'm counting down the top 10 photos you will not believe actually aren't Photoshopped. For this list, I hired a bunch of small men to find these photos you're about to see unfold right in front of your very eyes. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, hey, why did you hire a bunch of small men to do your dirty work? And that answer is obvious. Small men can do a lot of big things, like make content for a YouTube channel. So why don't you just shove our sizism deep down in your pockets, you bigot, and let the small men work their magic for me while I narrate this friggin' video. Anyways, before I get started, don't forget to drop a like on this video and hit subscribe so that way you can keep up with all of our daily videos. Also, I respond to everybody in the comments below, so if you know of any other photos that aren't actually photoshopped out there, or if you know of any small men who are in desperate need for work and will even do gigs that pay under the table that will put their dignity on the line, just let us know down below. If not, just say what's up. With all that said and done, I'm your ever lovely narrator, Gentleman T-Rex. Let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Speaking of tiny men, kicking off this list here is a tiny man playing soccer amongst normal-sized men. He'd probably consider to be giants, honestly. But this is a photo of a professional soccer match, so that little fella probably can tear it up real good on that field. Unlike my son, who basically is a tiny man at this point with his life and who can't kick a soccer ball even if he tried. He's that uncoordinated. I'm talking about you, Sam! That's why I've already gone ahead and punished him for not even trying to become a professional athlete. But the same can't be said for this guy, who's actually a soccer player named Matthew Valbuena. He's actually not a little man, but rather the victim of a perfectly timed photo. He's actually sliding on the grass right here to probably kick that ball away from his enemy team and win one for his own team. Something that my son will never do for me. Number 9. Oh man, movie special effects always leave a lasting impression on me. Kinda like the Zapruder film. It really looks like Kennedy is getting assassinated in that movie, and we can assume that's the case here, as standing next to a modern-day Cyclops is Eli Roth, famed horror film director who's probably showing off the next character for his direct-to-video film. But unless you weren't paying attention or read what the title of this video is, just like I was, then you know this isn't a Photoshop or a movie special effect. It's a real person who works in movies as an actor named Billy Owen, and I know what you're thinking. Oh great, another person with an unoriginal name like Billy. As for his face and the part about him missing one of his features, Billy here had cancer and had to lose part of his skull to it. This is proven by what he's holding in his hand, an artificial palate. But when you lose an eyeball, you try to profit from that somehow. And Billy here decided to turn himself into a haunted house zombie or war victims in movies who get their eyes shot out. Speaking of that last part, watch out for him next Christmas when he stars as Ralphie Parker in a remake of A Christmas Story. Oh hey, is that my neighbor's cat Tittles that went missing a few weeks back? Since when did he turn into a flying drone? Tittles, he is Tittles, he's flying in the air, and honestly that's really creepy. Oh god, that's actually very creepy. Actually, this isn't my neighbor's cat that I may or may not have mistaken to be a rabid raccoon one night, but instead a cat that was killed by a car and belonged to artist Bart Jansen, who instead of burying his cat like, a normal person, he decided to take him to the skies and put the fun back into funeral. This is actually a still from a video Jansen made that went viral and got a lot of people angry. Was it right to take a dead animal and make a show out of them like this? I don't know. If that's all you gotta worry about with your time, then maybe you should reevaluate your existence. Because as Frank Reynolds put it from an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when you're dead, you're dead. I personally can't wait to take my son's pet tarantula Zork to a taxidermist and have them stuff him onto a drone and then fly it all around the neighborhood and scare away all the people I don't like, such as my own family. Number 7. The good old copy and paste trick in Photoshop. Want to show the world that you're a fan of the Michael Keaton classic Multiplicity? Then do what this one person did to themselves in this photo here. Except that isn't in a lazy graphic designer ripping up some good old propaganda. These are actual Chinese soldiers marching in complete synchronization with one another. And my god, does it look impressive. Like, how do they train them to get it down this good? I dare you to spot one irregularity in this photo, because I just spent the last 3 hours having the little men comb over this one for me and they couldn't spot a single thing. I wonder how nerve-wracking this is to be one of those soldiers in real life, and what kind of jerk you must feel like when you look down and your concentration is broken and you screw everything up and everyone looks at you. Hey, no pressure, fellas. Number 6. Hey, remember that scene from the 1950s horror film The Fly when the woman rips off her husband's masks and we see what he sees through the eyes of the fly? Well, just imagine how annoying it would be to see the sun that many times if you were a fly. Well, don't worry, Ray-Bans has them covered, and by Ray-Bans, I mean some scientists who are flexing on how far advanced laser machining has come. Taken in 2005, these dudes whipped up these sunglasses and put it on this common housefly to show that even bugs can have a sense of style. But now in 2019, they're putting VR headsets on flies so that when they fly around your house, it's as if they're flying around the city of New York, and they can pretend they're actually doing something impressive for once. Number 5. No, that's not a panel of infinity mirrors underneath that toilet that sink to make you think that the bathroom you're in is in the gateway to infinity. It's actually a photo from a high-class and refurbished Mexican penthouse apartment building. And what you're looking at is a bathroom built upon an elevator shaft that have the floor just be glass. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a very hard sentence to read. You know, one of the easiest things to break in this world, they made a whole movie about it. Unbreakable. So just imagine being not so sober and stumbling into this bathroom only to be greeted by a sudden strike of vertigo and immense fear that what you're in is now a scene from a horror film that's not going to play out in your favor. On the alternative, you could just pretend that you're in a scene from a Three Stooges short and that if the glass floor does give out, you'll just land on the bottom with a comical thud. And then get back up as if nothing bad happened. Yeah, just keep telling yourself that then, buddy. Number 4. Oh, this must be some sort of art piece that's calling attention to how annoying the TSA is. Wrong-o, bucko. This here is a real-life X-ray photograph of Aldo Otara, who was smuggled out of the Africa's Ivory Coast just so that he could be flown to the Spanish Canary Islands and be reunited with his parents. See, the Ivory Coast is a little bit war-torn, and not where you'd want to leave your kid, so his parents did what they could, and while everyone thought he was caught, Aldo was removed from the luggage and actually met back up with his mother. I mean, let's take a look at the variables here. 1, if he went in the undercarriage portion of the plane, he'd freeze, possibly even to death. 2, how long did he plan on breathing the entire time? And 3, did they really think they'd get away with sending a kid through the suitcase? It's almost comical to think about, and while this story does have a happy ending, it makes you wonder how many other people have shipped themselves across the world in a zipped up suitcase. Like, you have to be real sure that the suitcase you get at the airport is the one with the human in it, because it's going to be really uncomfortable when you realize that someone else has your kid. Almost like some sort of reverse Home Alone type of situation. I bet you anything they're gonna make a movie out of that now. Number 3. Oh, the sweet irony of a full-grown gorilla playing a Nintendo console. If the thought of this ape playing Donkey Kong wasn't the first thing that came to your mind, then you need to go out and get yourself cultured, buddy. What's even more funny about this photo is the fact that the little gorilla, let's just go ahead and call him Diddy Kong, wants a piece of the digital pie. But in real life, Donkey Kong isn't letting him have any of it, and is playing the game that the digital version of themselves all by himself. Whatever zoo this happened in, better hope they don't have any Italian caretakers around with a mustache and a beer belly, otherwise it's on like Donkey Kong. Only for real this time. Seriously, did you know that Mario has a history with that? It's actually pretty messed up. Number 2. Oh my, now that is one very ripped child. So ripped that I'm going to go punish my son Tanner for not being as ripped as this kid. I just think my son should be in peak physical condition so that when the time comes, he'll be ready to take on clone versions of myself that I've secretly hidden and will unleash on his 13th birthday. Don't ask why, it was a deal they had going on at Costco. But in reality, this baby face pack and a six-pack is actually a 16-year-old Ukrainian dude named Richard Sandrak. Alright, I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that only takes 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just give it a try, it really works. Number 1. Okay, hold up. Now our last and number 1 entry on this list couldn't be any more fake. You just don't have a colored photo of a person standing next to a black and white person who has clearly been photoshopped in some form of Munsters knockoff TV show, right? Wrong. This is actually a photo of Detox, a contestant from the popular TV show RuPaul's Drag Race. She actually wanted to look like she had to cross over into our world from a 1950s late night movie marathon. And I had to give it to her. She had me fooled. Well done, Vampira. And that's it for this list. Like I always say, if you did make it this far, make sure to hit us up in the comments below, as we always sure to respond and just say what's up. Also, don't forget to drop a like down below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everybody.